In the early days of survival horror, games like Alone in the Dark, Resident Evil 1 and 2 and Parasite Eve, graphics were very different to what they are today. They were usually pre-rendered, which forced the designers to use fixed camera angles. And just like recent zombie films have become more fast-paced, games which had roots in survival horror have also turned to action and precision aiming, instead of rationing your ammo by evading enemies, finding items which unlock new areas, and puzzle solving. The truth is, the Xbox 360 is far from lacking in zombie games, but is badly in need of new survival horrors. So I was very happy to hear that the best survival horror in the Xbox, Dead Rising, was getting a sequel, and better yet, a prologue called Case Zero. The first thing you'll notice after realising you no longer play as Frank West is that you can combine items to form new weapons. The first of these weapons you are likely to make is the spiked bat, simply because the first two items you find is a box of nails and a baseball bat. Out of all the combo weapons I've made so far, the spiked bat is still my favourite, not only because of its effectiveness in the game, but because it's the same weapon Snake Plissken used in the film Escape from New York. For anyone who didn't know, he was the inspiration for Snake in Metal Gear Solid. The funniest thing that's happened with this weapon so far is I butted a zombie in the stomach, but when it came up for the animation for me to spike him in the head, he ducks and I hit the zombie behind him. So I was on the Xbox forum, some retard wrote, I gave it 1 star because of the whole "you're on a time limit." He makes it sound like when you complete the game you can never go back and play it again. In that case, every game has a time limit, in that you're limited to the amount of time you want to play it. It's like if you're playing Perfect Dark and your mum calls you for dinner, you wouldn't think, oh, Perfect Dark has a time limit on it now. You have to realise that Dead Rising's timeline is like Zelda Majora's Mask. You play until day 3, go back to the start and play those 3 days all over again with a new and exciting adventure. That's what Dead Rising's all about. It lets you play out all the different scenarios. He goes on to say there should be an unlimited time mode. How can you play a game for an unlimited amount of time? You're going to need to use the toilet eventually, so really you're only limited to the size of your bladder. One improvement they've made is the text can be read even if you don't have a high definition TV. Another is the AI is a lot better, or at least they're not hopeless drilling retards like in Dead Rising 1, or maybe they can just handle themselves a little better. But the challenge is no longer in getting them from point A to point B, it's getting them to join you in the first place. One survivor made me get him a sword from the hunting shack before he would join up, which I didn't really mind because I knew at least whenever I give him it, he would be able to handle himself on the way to the safe room. Also, when you make it to the safe room door, you don't have to wait for the other survivors to crowd round it before going in, like you did in Dead Rising 1.
Oh, thank you.
The blender's still in the game, and so far the best thing I've made with it is the repulse, which makes you repulsive to zombies. There's something very cool about being able to walk beside the zombies without them attacking you, and I'm pretty sure this item will be very useful when the full game comes out. A minor glitch I found was that for some reason I couldn't kill this zombie with my handgun, and for some reason Chuck's fingers poking right through the gun. I'm pretty sure this is a one-off because it hasn't happened to me since, and I'm sure they'll probably fix it for the full game. Dead Rising Case Zero is definitely worth buying. It would probably take about 4 hours to complete everything in the game, depending on how many breaks you take for the toilet. But there's definitely replay value, and it's made me look forward to Dead Rising 2 even more.